following video will be a critique of someone's YouTube video. Now, I'm going to be doing this like a straw man argument or a devil's advocate argument in reverse. I'm going to be sort of taking the worst attitude towards the video uploader as an example. I don't actually mean this, but we're going to phrase it that way because the YouTube video I'm evaluating may be symptomatic of this sort of thing. So it's going to sound really harsh, and it's not meant that way, but there's no other way to say some of the parts, so I'm just going to do all the parts that way. And then afterwards, I will backtrack for the specific YouTuber. At 1 minute and 22 seconds of the video that I'm evaluating, I'm not actually evaluating the video or the narrator, just a specific statement during it. The narrator said something along the lines of, current Google images you can get a hold of that you're looking at the left and right here, that were taken in Delphi at the bridge on that day by somebody unrelated, are unscrambled, and shows an example of it. But this is after showing, quote, the original photo uploaded with scrambling technology. This is what's being implied or stated. I don't know if the person's actually saying that, but it sounds a lot like the person saying there was an attempt to deliberately hide information or create a mystery when there shouldn't have been. Referring, however, to an image that the person said is a screen grab from a video that did screen grabs off of YouTube in whatever resolution it was uploaded, and or a website screenshot image or a poorly compressed image from a website. Instead of looking at the oldest upload of the image, which is high resolution, the person's assuming that since they see it on Reddit, and really it's actually an image from Imgur that was uploaded in 2019, October 4th or 5th. Both of these images, by the way, are those. They're assuming that the clearer the image, the more likely it is to not be the original. The implication here, and the person's not being completely clear about it, is that the higher resolution images must be some sort of AI upscaling high-tech thing, and the person kind of goes off on that kind of tangent, maybe just as an argument or a supposition that we should bandy about. Or they really do believe that the image was deliberately uploaded with a, quote, scrambling effect to hide something and create mystery, or he says something along the lines of the person uploading it felt comfortable uploading it, basically redacted or altered to hide something. Maybe redacting it to protect people's privacy or something. None of that could actually be true simply because that isn't. The original two images you're looking at here, which I've stuck together, are originally uploaded by a person named Cheyenne. And they're photos taken before and after 3 p.m. on a specific day on the bridge on the south end, looking the direction they're looking. And, or one of them is anyway. And the point here is that when they uploaded it, they put it on some website and it didn't get archived. Even when people saw these images, the first thought in their head wasn't, oh, I see something that will very likely be evidence. Maybe I should archive the living hell out of this. Also, it doesn't help that it wasn't put up on Cheyenne's, let's say, Facebook page. It was apparent, this is the scuttlebutt, it was uploaded onto a friend's Facebook page. Now, this is going to be where I get a rant going. This is the real purpose of this video, and I've said it before and I'll say it again. If you are in an area on the day something happened and you took photos and you uploaded it on a website that puts a timer on it for how long it'll be before it gets erased, you are doing a self-fulfilling failure prophecy. Please stop using any website that is likely to erase your content for any reason of any kind. A good example is on YouTube and Google. Google started hiding results that would give us information about what's going on so that we'd only have the news sources to look for. Now, you could say that's being done in an altruistic way. I won't. I can't say that. That isn't rational. The next thing is, some websites are told to take it down by the police department, and again they say, well, it's to help the investigation. And it doesn't. Now, this is a major rant point. The only video I have on the subject that anybody's paid attention to is me almost screaming on the recording about how the police department basically threw up their hands and gave up and didn't release every bit of data. Now, I understand, obviously, there's good reason for that, but it's frustrating. And more importantly, In response to people trying really hard to help them, they went out of their way to make things more obscure or be vague about it, which just made it worse. If you're trying to get rid of conspiracy theorists or super sleuths on the internet interfering with your investigation, that's not how to do it. But the biggest thing I have a problem with is, and I'm not criticizing Cheyenne, is that when she had these images, did she keep an original copy of both images that are unaltered? If the answer is yes, post them someplace as compressed archives, like a zip file with a password on it so it cannot be decoded and messed with, and dump it on the net so that we have the original images. That's it. But anyway, we have these images from 2019. These are re-uploads from the originals. That's the best we got. And we're going to look at them in a minute. But presuming for some reason that when you look on Reddit and see these images that were originally uploaded in 2019, and that somehow this is the result of unscrambling AI tech, or that the original images you got that were obviously screen grabs from a YouTube video, it looks like, that are going to be garbage, that somehow those are the originals and they were scrambled to obscure something because, conspiracy theory. That doesn't make any sense. So let's start from the beginning. If the image is in higher quality than the one you have, the higher quality one is probably the original and probably older. If it's not older, it's a re-upload. Next, if you can find who did the original one, Cheyenne, find out where the information was posted originally. If it was posted on a self-destruct website, like a lot of them turn out to be during these kind of things, then you're not going to be able to find the original version. And next, if you are tempted to believe your original assumptions were right all along, and that really it's some sort of evil technology or whatever keeping you from being right on the internet, immediately walk over to a mirror and yell at yourself, "I'm an idiot," until it sinks in. You're basically rationalizing away making a simple mistake. Simple mistakes are easy to get past if you acknowledge that they are your mistakes. Now, I don't know that about this uploader that had the video that ends in 202M, but the point is they're starting to sound like it. And if the person is watching, I'm not saying that about you, but the video comes off like that in the first few minutes. It's not a long video to sit through, but I have to stop right there by doing this. We're going to go ahead and look at the image. The specific image the person's looking at is off of Reddit. That's what it shows up as Google shows it. But it's really off of imgur or imgur. Imgur is going to show you this image. And this is me grabbing the JPEG, which are compressed to hell, and converting it to PNG so that it doesn't get altered very much. Even putting these two images together will alter them. There is no such thing as a clean JPEG. When we look at it, we see really snowy artifacts here, and on this line that should be very, very clear. We see a better quality image than what he was showing in the screen grab that was poorly done on apparently some YouTube video or maybe some website, doesn't matter, but you don't use the low resolution version and say, this one's the truth. Next, no, it doesn't show bunnies, mannequins, satanic rituals, any of the stuff you might see in some video somewhere telling you, oh, this is the truth because I can discern it. If somebody uses words like discern instead of, here's the original, this is what I see, but I could be wrong. If they say anything other than that, if they say the word discern especially, it's like a big red flag. Or if they say, I can see the truth, or I saw the truth originally, but someone altered it because now there's a high-res version that disproves my beliefs. You need to take these and really understand that you're dealing with someone that may not be giving you useful information. Doesn't mean that they're delusional, doesn't mean they're wrong, it just means you may need to go look for other sources. No, there isn't anything in the image here that is odd or out of place. It's a JPEG image. The only thing worse than an AI on the internet that adds extra thumbs to someone's hand is a damn JPEG. They're almost useless, but this is a decent resolution so we can look at it. Okay, all right, now we're going to slide over to the other one here. And they were taken before and after 3 p.m. approximately on that day, apparently. That's what we've got in the scuttlebutt department. And no, it doesn't show supposedly over here a body, the killer, somebody recording it. None of that stuff is in the image. That's called pareidolia. And again, it's a JPEG. Trees don't look like this. Trees don't have Moyer patterns over them. That's the algorithm for not only the compression algorithm on the camera trying to make stuff look nice, it's also the compression algorithm off of Imgur. It's also the compression algorithm off of Facebook or wherever it was posted. It doesn't matter where it was posted. And it's also the algorithm in the image renderer for my web browser I'm using to see the image. If I hit F11, you can see I'm using a Firefox derivative. There is no such thing as a raw image viewer unless it's a raw image file from a raw image camera. That essentially doesn't exist anywhere. So you're going to get an algorithm that tries to make things look like natural shapes and nice straight lines. If it sees something that looks like a straight line, it'll make it look as straight and clean as possible. If it sees something that looks curved, it'll make it even more curved. These are image improvement things for making pleasantries in the image. Again, the pareidolia isn't just in your head or in your visual cortex. It's also in the algorithm that the compression routines use for making images look better. Because we're all crappy photographers, the cell phone or whatever you're using is doing most of the work. Now that I've gotten that out of the way, if you find an image that shows you what you want to see, but it's lower res and it's immediately debunked by a high res image, you probably need to use the high res image and assume it isn't being debunked. It's that you were just making a simple mistake. Next, the original image was not archived. Only Cheyenne has the original images, and if she doesn't have the originals and doesn't repost them in a way that makes it almost impossible for them to get worse, we don't have the originals, even if she has them. And the next thing is, there isn't any scrambling tech that was used for, quote, the original upload. These are the original uploads. That's as close as we're going to get to it. And the, quote, unscrambling tech on Google, the person might be referring to, does have some merit because originally Google would only show you a low resolution thumbnail of a thing, and then you'd have to click it to go to the website because they wanted to make sure they weren't accused of stealing pictures. And then Google eventually said, to hell with that, we're going to steal the pictures. And then later on, they reversed that decision and started using compressed images again. They basically did thumbnails look crappy because that's what they had. So when I say it might be a screenshot he's seeing from a YouTube video and or an image from a website and or, I should include, a bad thumbnail from Google, all of those could be piling onto each other. And again, the oldest, original, full resolution, least screwed up images we have look like they come from Reddit, but they're actually Imgur files, and these are the two URLs. Imgur.com / and then this string of numbers, and then / this string of numbers for that and that picture. That's it. Those are the oldest ones. They're used on every one of the boards. Every website that says this is the original image points to them. It's like the two most viewed Imgur images I know of. And the next thing is, every other image that's lower quality, that was later or even earlier, isn't the original. Because that doesn't make sense. And next, again, if you look at some image and you see more stuff in it, but it's lower resolution or scrambled, or somebody, quote, enhanced it by changing the colors or doing all sorts of weird shit with it, that's not the original image. And the next thing is, again, depending on what time you looked, Google would present a thumbnail that was really ugly looking or a really good looking one. Sometimes not even keeping a cached copy of the image. 2, again, YouTube videos. They're going to be compressed as hell. Heck, you might not be able to uncompress the mess. And the next part of this is that most images re-uploaded, no matter who re-uploads it, get, quote, optimized over time, and those websites get worse and worse and worse. That happens on news websites too. And some of them run an AI routine trying to clean them back up later and just add more crap in it. And again, the AI programs will try to clean up the image to make them look pleasant, and that includes making things that look organic, like human body shapes and such. So it's not just pareidolia in the human eye or the human brain, it's also on the internet. And the AI routines, or whatever you want to call it, are just the standard algorithms used in every camera just about. And this happens each stage, from the camera taking the photo, to the website displaying it, to your browser displaying it, to YouTube recompressing it, on and on and on it goes. So the original files literally would have to come from Cheyenne over again. And I want to point out, Cheyenne, like everybody else who was named at all concerning this occurrence, concerning this case, has been demonized, harassed, and attacked by people because they were looking for someone to go after so they could cause drama on the internet and get page views. So I don't know if she has any reason to talk to anybody about the original images.